ILS be the set. Get in tune. Welcome. ILS, Hispanic Heritage Month, deep in it. But it's in October, so why don't you think they embrace more of the spooky side of it, Vero? Like Hispanic Horror Month, Hispanic.
Well, you better watch your syllables pronunciation.
Come on.
Hispanic what now?
Horror Month.
Okay.
You thought I was saying? I'm not saying the other word.
Okay.
Horror.
You know.
I mean, I appreciate the other one as well, but but we're not, because there's nothing wrong with any of that sex work and stuff like that.
Sex work,
But you shouldn't call them that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not referring to.
Is that a derogatory term? I can never keep up.
Whore?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, is it though?
Yes.
No, like for real,
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay.
What you think I'm speaking in Mandarin? Like, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just wondering, is it something that Game of Thrones could get away with saying and it be okay, because I feel like that word was thrown around a lot in period pieces.
Yeah, of course.
Whenever they show the Renaissance times.
Yeah, like 18th century, 19th century.
Yeah,
it was a big thing. But I think as you got into this day and age, it's very, very derogatory. Just like slut.
Yeah, but then there's also the phrase slut shaming, and people liberally use that, so it's not like. You wouldn't use the derogatory word in the word that you're using to express how derogatory it is. There's no
that one's kind of a.
There's no I was gonna use the W word, but there's no derogatory term for Mexican here calling.
That has the word in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think slut shame is it's kind of sits in its own island because of that, because there's very few words that kind of use.
I'm just saying that I don't think that slut is a bad word.
But it is. People do take offense to it.
I don't think slut is a bad word. Slut is not a bad word. Because slut means what? Sexually promiscuous, and
don't get me wrong. I'm sure the people
the fact that you're shaming the slut and that is something that we don't want to do means that it is okay to be called a slut.
I mean, I think it's just in that same vein as the B word, like women who talk to other women, call each other the B word. But if they use it
but men can't do it. Men absolutely cannot do it.
If they use it, or even if a woman uses it in the wrong context, it can be a problem.
Yeah.
So I feel like slut shame and slut kind of fits in that word. You may embrace the word. Same thing with whore. I think some people do embrace the word whore, but yeah, just depending on who it's coming from, where you can start to have issues.
Yeah.
But that's not what this all about. I was trying to allude to
Happy Hispanic Horror Month, everyone.
Yeah, I was trying to allude to spooky season, to Hispanic horror, la mes de hispanidad, de espanto,
la mes de spooky,
the spooky, yeah, all that stuff. So not everything we just talked about really had nothing to do with this intro. But hey, ILS, Vero Fuerte, Ricardo Mexicano, Mexican Natsu, we're back. We got another episode for you. So without further ado, I'm gonna kick it off. So it's my week. If you can see to your right from the camera. Your week of
doing what? For that brand new spanking listener that we have.
Yeah, for a little gimmick. So the way music works, we'll have 3 sets of questions, topics, whatever, kind of outline, tied together with some sort of little gimmick, food related usually, but it doesn't have to be. Okay?
But it has been continuously.
But it has been.
So, yeah.
Because it's easy. And Vero gets to eat. So
yeah, exactly. Win.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and open the
sesame.
The styrofoam box next to you.
Okay, so you guys, when I came back from my errands, Mexicano was here and he had this thing on the table that he said that he had to heat up. So, in the end, even the paper bag that this styrofoam box came in was super ambiguous because you know how usually in the paper bag, it has the label of the restaurant or algo así that tells you, oh, this is from Posados or whatever the fuck.
People will not know what that is unless you're from East Texas.
Well, Posados sucks. It's okay. All right. But this one didn't have a name on it. So we about to see. Look. Okay. So it's tamales. And it's a good kind of arroz too. It's the arroz with vegetables in it. That is an interesting...
Now, so here we go. You have to eat
and is this frijoles? They're a darker color. Yeah. That's interesting.
So you're going to have to eat one by one. But hold on. Here's the other thing.
One by one, what? The rice?
The tamal.
Tamal. Oh, different kinds of tamal?
Different types of tamal and a sauce. that goes along with each.
In a secret
Question.
sauce, I get 3 different kind of tamales in a. Okay,
So
sorry.
each sauce is dedicated to one tamal. So that's kind of the idea.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well,
Along
is
with the
there a
question.
is there a different sauce that's specifically catered with a different kind of tamal?
No, they're all the same type of tamal.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh okay.
Yeah,
So it's
So the
same
sauce is kind of like the main attraction, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So the sauce. I mean, hold on. Let me open it and sniff it for you guys. Because we don't got smell-o-vision up in here. All right. So it's kind of looks like melted cheese a little bit, but I know Mexicano knows me better than that, and he knows that I would never eat melted cheese with a tamal. But it's kind of like off-colory. It definitely tastes. I mean, it definitely smells like it has a kick to it. You can already smell the spice. So it has some sort of pepper. I don't know if it's poblano or jalapeno. I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm sophisticated.
Just go ahead and try it out.
Okay, all right.
So the fork right over there.
Okay. Hala.
I'll hold this for you to make it a lot easier.
Okay. See, that's why I love it when you do the episodes.
No crunchiness this time.
No crunchiness. What you talking about?
So it won't be all over the mic. You know, the crunchy sounds.
Whatever. Like you're okay. All right.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general, like crunchiness for everybody. God, this is offended. God.
Okay. All right. Okay, here it is, you guys. Did I get enough sauce? I feel like I should get some more. All right, there you go. I don't know if the camera from way over there can see the color of the sauce. Okay. Interesting. Can I just taste the sauce by itself?
Yeah.
Or the dip? Is it a sauce or a dip?
I don't know.
That's really good. Wow. I mean, but it's not as the salsa or the dip or whatever, it's not as spicy as I thought it was going to be. What is this? The tamal is like off the heezy though, like for real.
You really want me to tell you?
I mean, I don't want you to keep like your secret.
Prolonging.
It's
just cheese.
What, this?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the sauce. I'm talking about where all of this is from.
Oh, shout out Esperanza. Restaurant and bakery. Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out Esperanzas.
But that is just cheese.
Just regular cheese?
Yeah, just cheese sauce.
Cheese or cheese sauce? Because there's a difference.
I don't know, man. I'm not here to get into the details.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. You presented me with this big, like, ominous, like, mystery sauce. I thought that you had more details to give me than just, it's just cheese.
It's cheese, as far as I know. It's a cheese sauce.
You're
there.
So anticlimactic.
They have it on the menu as cheese sauce. There,
like,
you
the
happy?
audience is over here waiting for this big payoff of this big mystery sauce.
I'm ready for you to read the question, the statement. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. The frijoles are good. Yeah, those are some badass frijoles. Like, you know that there's going to be good frijoles if they're, like, really rich in color. Like, the darker of a vibrant brown they are, the better. Go ahead. Not being allowed to trick-or-treat. This is a question?
What was your experience? Because I feel like we had, like, equal experience. Well, like equal things having to do with not being able to trick-or-treat, but different reasons why.
I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't allowed to trick or treat unless my mom was there because she was lazy. You know, like if she didn't feel like walking around and stuff, late at night, like we just wouldn't go.
Did she? But she would let you
by ourselves.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like just in general.
Yeah.
She would let you like as long as she was there, she would let you go.
I mean, I do know that there's that like. Paranoia and the superstition. See, now I'm just eating. I know that there's that paranoia and superstition within like a lot of Latino household that like you don't know what the fuck they're putting in that candy.
Well,
you know? So I mean, a lot of people didn't get to go. Just like a lot of like little Latina girls don't get to go over people's houses if there's like a man there, just cause you know. Yeah.
Or just paranoia in general. You know, just like the fact that hey, you're going out there. Hell no, not my kid. They ain't finna go out there with no, but not even me. I don't even trust myself as a parent, you know?
So did you ever go trick-or-treating?
So like I said, my experience was different because my mother is very religious and trick-or-treating was a straight no. I never went one time trick-or-treating as a kid.
Never. You never went trick-or-treating?
No. Wow. And I feel like a lot of Hispanic, Latino, Latinx kids can
Día del Diablo?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who said?
Religious people. Like, I never went out one time. You know, the most I ever did was like go with like once I got to like high school with like go out with like Eric to like just cause havoc like on like neighborhoods. And,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
just
and
be
that's
just,
not more mischievous than an innocent little kid just trying to get candy.
exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I was like you know just thinking I wanted to do whatever I want at that point.
You want to do hood rat shit with your friends on
Yeah.
the Day of the Dead.
Yeah, so like, but as far as my mom letting me do that, like no, never.
So you never got to dress up as a kid?
Nope,
Ni nada de
never,
eso?
never, not once.
Interesting.
That's why now to me Halloween just kind of like whatever. It's not really a thing for me. Like it's cool, but it's never. It's not. It's because I was alienated from it. It doesn't really have any significance to me.
Interesting. So you didn't have like the Catholic. It didn't have like the Catholic schoolgirl effect on you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, where I want to rebel and like do it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to stop me from this rice.
Oh,
This
please
is some
stop.
badass rice.
Please stop.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay. I'm good.
You're already biting from the other one. I told you each tamale is reserved for each sauce.
Each sauce? I
Yeah.
thought you said that there was only one sauce.
I said each tamale is for each sauce. I have more.
Oh, you have more sauces?
Yes.
Oh.
You thought they was each sauce comes with each
That's why I
statement.
thought it was lame. I was like, this is a lame gimmick. You're literally just giving
You don't listen.
No, I did listen, and then you didn't word it correctly.
Yes, I did. You just don't listen. We'll play. I'll play this back for you, and you'll hear what I say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you ready for the next one?
Yeah, I mean, I already started on the second tamal. Shoot.
So we got the red sauce.
Ooh. Okay, so this one's like super rich red. This is like mole, almost color red. Like, except it needs to be a little more shady and brown. But let's smell it. It's giving me. It's giving me Oaxaca. It's giving me like.
It's not that serious.
It's giving it's giving me, you know, like old style grandmother like pounded the tortillas with her bare fists at 5 a.m.
Shout out Esperanza.
Shout out.
Please try it.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then the
okay, I'm gonna cover this tamal. I'm gonna do it right this time. I'm gonna just like sort of like cover it up and then. Because I think what I did earlier with that cheese sauce is kind of blasphemy. Like, I dipped the tamal in the sauce, and, like, what the fuck, man? Like,
it's you. I mean, you wanted to do it.
That's not how you properly eat a tamal, kids.
Nobody's stopping you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get at these frijoles. They're so good. Okay. Again, it's like this, like, sort of, like, brown red. Okay, this seems way more appropriate for a tamal, like this sauce.
Yeah.
Than the cheese sauce.
Yeah, of course.
Because the cheese sauce smelled better because it made me really excited because I thought it could smell like poblano or like some sort of like really like spicy element to it. And then it was just really regular. Like it had no kick at all. Like this one, it doesn't necessarily have a kick either, but it definitely has like a more of an earthy flavor. Like I said, it mildly tastes like your grandmother could have made this. Your grandmother who's afraid of spice, which I don't know anyone's grandmother who's afraid of spice because mine is not. Oh yeah, hard. Okay. A nightmare moment from elementary / middle / high school. You have like
so whichever one you want to pick. It doesn't have to be all three. Just whatever one. Like when I say nightmare, I'm talking about like embarrassment, something that still sticks to you to this day. Like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, or I can't believe I did that, or my friend was crazy for doing that. What was I? Why was I into that kind of thing?
Are we keeping this PG?
PG-13. Let's do PG-13.
Okay,
yeah.
Keeping this PG-13. Okay, because I got some stories. Let me
got,
tell you.
You know, we got the bra and panties out at the very least.
Yeah. Okay, no. We don't gotta worry about all that. Let me pick something a little more clean. Okay.
Ooh.
So. I don't know, like in your school when you were walking down the halls, were there rules about like I know this is like a really random thing, but were there rules like everybody walk on the left side and everybody walk on the right side? Like were there people monitoring like which direction that you walked in?
Sometimes I think not so much like that specific, but it was usually like if you're going to this side of the school, walk through this door. Kind of like that.
Okay, well, with mine, throughout middle school, now this is the craziest thing. This is probably the biggest impact I've ever had in my life to this day, is I changed the entire course of how people walked in the hallways of my middle school. Okay.
What?
Okay, so when I was 13...
I gotta put on the ambience right quick. Go ahead.
Okay. So when I was 13, I like to give you a very short profile picture, a very profile description of 13-year-old Veronica is that she was that obnoxiously quirky kid that would hang out with all the emo gothic like scene kids, right? And so, you know, she was constantly like, "Oh, look, I'm so different. I'm so special. I'm a manic pixie girl. Oh my gosh, I'm such a unicorn." Blah 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 blah. Right? Okay, we hate her. No, we don't hate her. We protect her. But you know, like we grow above her. Anyway, so yeah, okay, so like back then I went through a phase when I was like 12 or 13 where all I ever wanted to do was walk backwards everywhere. And like in my middle school obnoxious head, I thought, okay, well, I want to do this so I can like have face-to-face conversations with people even while we're walking down the halls, right? And I can just instinctively and intuitively know exactly where I'm going in BD, right? Yeah. So... and everyone would always warn me, it's like, Vero, like, stop, like, turn around, watch where you're going. It's like, oh, I'm fine, look, I'm bonding, you know, like, everything's fine, no one's getting hurt, etc., etc. Until one day, I was walking down the hall, going to Mr. McNuff's class. I think it was my science teacher, and I was walking with my friends Logan and Alex, and we start to turn a corner, and I think I was in the middle of some story. I was ranting about this, that, and the other, and suddenly, like, I felt it. Boom! Like, I crash into this little old lady, like, substitute teacher, and it all happened so fast. Like, I couldn't even, like, register it. So I bump into her, and the only thing that I really remember seeing is that her shoe goes flying into the air, like way on the other side of the hall, right? And I'm like, oh shit. So like I fall, but you know, this woman is at least like 87 or something years old. I mean, this lady is little and like ancient.
So you send her flying across the stratosphere.
Yes, yes, and her shoe goes off with it. And like I just remember, like, you know that scene in Holes where like I think it's an opening scene where they just see like the tennis shoes on the line. That is such a vivid memory of me when I think about like the opening scene of Holes, and that's such a vivid memory of me when I think about that incident. Just that shh.
So she just fell on the ground.
Well, yeah, but I just remember watching her shoe because that was all in my peripheral vision because I was like, my back was turned to her, right? So it was like, shh. And it was just like this sign of like, oh shit, I'm fucked. So.
Was she hurt?
Yeah, well, all I know is that she didn't show up to school for the next couple of days.
Okay.
And apparently, from what people told me, is that she used to have polio. And I just remember like going to science class because I was like, I don't know, I just kept on I did not know how to take responsibility for my actions. I'm sorry, this was fucked up. It was not good. I was 12 years old. I was like, I don't know, like I'm gonna be late for science class. Should I just keep walking? And so I did that. Right? I turned around that time. I went right side up, by the way. And yeah, and so the next day, I mean, she turned out to be okay in the end. She came back to school y todo eso, but. From then on, there's this like you go to Jacksonville Middle School to this day, there's this long line down the middle of every hallway that says right side and left side. And so it's basically like drawn out, you know, like a road. Right. It's like, so everybody knows where to walk, because if not, you know.
You're going to bump into a little old lady that knocked her shoes off. Did you cry?
I panicked, cried near the end. And that is my horror middle school story.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever told you that story.
No. Over here knocking little old ladies down and, you know, putting the fear of God in them.
You thought I was in baller shot collar.
Can I tell you mine real quick?
Yeah.
This is from elementary school. This is like really PG. Like even G, to be honest. This was in 5th grade. So I remember, I forgot who it was that taught me this. I don't know if it was somebody at school or like somebody from like in my neighborhood, but they taught me the Charlie Charlie game. Like
What's the Charlie Charlie
like
game?
the one where you put the pencils together and you ask like, is Charlie here? Is Charlie here? You trying to like summon him, right?
First of all, I never. Like, what is wrong with you, demonic ass kids? And your mom didn't even let you go to fucking like trick or treat.
Yeah, but you know, like kids find out this stuff.
Overcompensate.
Kids find out about this stuff and they want to try it out, right? So I remember being at school.
Your mom would hate you.
And the total trick was that like supposedly when you did that, you would ask, "Are you here?" Right? And then if he was here, the pencil will like move, like shift, quote unquote, to the left or the right. But usually, the truth is, it's like the kids are shaking. Yeah, somebody's like moving like that.
It's like the Ouija board concept.
Right.
Still don't have that game in my house.
I remember showing like a couple classmates, and then they were like super like scared but excited at the same time. And then they showed a couple other people. Then they showed a couple other people. And then for some reason, to this day, I don't know why this happened, but some people got really convinced that there was like some sort of like evil spirit in the school because of like just shit that was happening. Like just certain things will fall down. Just something was like happening, right? To the point where like there was like a group of girls who were like legitimately terrified and started like crying. And
that would be me. I would be the group of girls. I wouldn't be part of the group of girls. I would be the whole group of girls.
My teacher was like furious because she was like, "What is going on? Why are everybody freaking out and crying?" And I felt so bad. I had to like own up to it. And like, I think it was like maybe the first time I ever had to own up to something like in school. And I remember like going up to the teacher and saying, "Miss Harper, I am so sorry about this. Truly." I remember saying truly, like sincerely, I am sorry. It's just a game.
Big vocabulary for a second grader.
Fifth grade. It's not that big.
Okay.
That was she said. And I remember apologizing to her, and then like shortly after, I remember crying because I did not like mean
That's
to
the
like.
guilty in that you.
Yeah, because I didn't mean like to me it was just like a little game. I did not mean to like have somebody have that reaction where they themselves were crying. And I remember sitting at my desk, putting my head down, like crying for like a good like minute until like somebody came over and consulted me and was like, "Hey, like I know you didn't mean anything by that," and I was just like, "Okay." But yeah, I felt bad. If your
mom knew, she would have tried to exercise you.
I know, right? But that was my like nightmare moment because it was like my first taste of like feeling guilty that I had like hurt somebody, even if it was unintentionally, you know?
Do you have like an actual horror moment, like where you? Oh, you know what? I don't even like talking about this. Like, you don't understand.
Like spooky stuff.
You do not understand. Veronica Perez does not fuck with the demon world. She does not fuck with the ghost world. Like, we do not play that shit. Like, what kind of Mexican are you that you're over here playing Charlie, or what is it that they call it, like Bloody Mary, with a bunch of, let me guess, were they white kids?
Like black. You gotta realize Tyler, where I lived, was predominantly Mexican and black.
That's true. Well, they should have known better.
You forget that Mexican people mess with that stuff a lot down in Mexico all the time.
They shouldn't. We shouldn't.
They mess with it all the time.
We have Dia de los Muertos. We have like 2 or 3 days, and then that's it. Okay, we don't need to be fucking with that shit.
Some people do it every day of the year.
Hell no. And yet your mom won't let you go trick or treating. See, like then you have the antithesis of that. I don't understand that.
I mean, I think that was probably the Catholic school growing to me. I guess you want to say where I would do stuff like this because I was just like, you know what, free range. I can't do that. I'm gonna do all this stuff.
Nah. I never fucked with that shit. Nah, you wildin', Mexicano.
Should I keep the music going? I'm gonna keep it going. I think it's like low key and like subtle enough. All right, and of course, you already know the legendary green one.
Verde. Yo, this is my favorite. Look,
it's the very last one.
But nobody can make salsa verde better than my mami caro. So if this don't hold up, I'm gonna hold it against you.
The bias is huge, so it probably won't. But I'm sure it's good.
Look at what it smells good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they'll smell good.
Okay. All right.
That's always my favorite too, the verde.
Yeah. Pozole verde is also my favorite.
Now, when it comes to pozole, the red one's my favorite.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chicken too. No pork on my fork when it comes to pozole.
No pork on my fork. Plenty of pork on my fork. Let me tell you that. Okay. Anywho, sees. Oh, okay, all right.
Be
Sorry, I'm
careful.
not speaking right into the mic here. Salsa verde. The only thing is that it does look a little watery. I'm not gonna lie. The vibrancy is good. I think salsa, a good chunk of it is all about color, man. Especially the more traditional ones, like the red one and the green one. Like if it don't have that vibrancy, like you already know it's not gonna be.
The aesthetic nature of it.
Yeah, like it's not. It's not. It. I mean, no. I feel like the vibrancy literally like feeds into the color. Like if it doesn't have a certain like vibrancy to it, ain't gonna hit the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, this is the best one out of all of them. Straight up. I mean, is it as good as my Mami Caro's?
Of course
No.
not. Yeah.
But it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like this one. Oh, yeah, question.
The card. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
How did I know?
Come on.
How did I know? Okay, all right. So the card
I'll stop
itself says, no, I mean, let it play.
You want me to keep playing?
Sure,
It's
why
a
not?
very scary moment.
It is scary to me.
Yeah.
It should be scary for you.
It's not scary to me.
I feel like I've already said everything that I needed to say about this topic this week. I don't think I have any more juice left on this
We'll
topic.
just say what you already said.
No. Gatekeeping food. What do you want me to talk about while I take the second bite to try to calm my nerves?
Your take. Like, why? Like, what? Like, what's up with gatekeeping food? Do you think
What's up with... No, you need to give them proper story background. Like, what are you doing this week that I find so incredibly insidious? Okay, so
Vero
this
the food
is
Nazi.
what's going down.
Vero the food Nazi.
So Mexicano has like a sort of like potluck thing that he's in charge of at his work that he's trying to put together. And what month are we on right now?
Latino month.
Latino, Latina Latinx, Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? So see, like, let me take a bite of this
I'm
thing
part
while
of
I come down.
I'm part of the multicultural committee at my work.
Okay.
And I have to create like my idea was to do a potluck along with like some games, loteria to be specific, and
really
like a presentation of like a Hispanic hero. And that's pretty much it.
Wait, you didn't tell me the Hispanic hero part. Who'd you pick?
I forgot her name. The one.
Oh wow, such a hero.
I'm sorry.
I mean, at least in your eyes.
She is. She's the one that was part of like Brown versus Board of Education, like when that was all going down in the 50s. And it's all over one person. It's all over her.
Why didn't you pick a person whose name you could remember?
I just haven't looked at the slide again. I have to look at it. Okay. But very important person, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, her importance is not like predicated on whether or not Mexicano Ricardo can remember her name. So
I'm not the one giving the presentation.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just, overseeing most of the thing.
Right on. This sounds so good.
Yeah. So that's it. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Vero, for some reason.
Not for some reason, for a very obvious reason.
It's not an obvious reason.
Oh my god.
Not an obvious reason. She's a food Nazi. That's the obvious reason. She has a problem with me sharing Hispanic, Latinx type food with a certain audience. And by that, I mean somebody who's not Hispanic.
Okay, well, here's the thing. All right. Okay, so what you didn't clarify is that you are going, what is it, tamales and pupusas?
I'm bringing enchiladas and pupusas.
Okay, you are bringing enchiladas and pupusas. Now, let's forget about the fact that enchiladas are like God's gift to earth in like food form. They are my absolute favorite meal of all time. Every time I eat one, I cry a little bit. Like, I wish that was an exaggeration, but it's kind of not.
It's an issue. She needs help.
It's just like, do you ever have that like sentimental food that just like brings you to tears because it reminds you of like certain parts of your childhood? Like, that's me with enchiladas, and that's me with a good ass enchilada. Now that brings to the question, like, where are you getting these pupusas and these enchiladas from?
The pupusa from Doña Carmen and the enchiladas from Esperanza.
So like real deal, like hole in a wall, holy feel, authentic ass, like like
food.
Restaurantes. Yeah, okay. All right. See, like, that's what I don't know. So you come and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta like buy all these enchiladas and pupusas. I'm like, for what? Oh, for Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'm like, oh cool, they're having like all of the Latinos together and like you guys are all like in some grub. That's awesome. And you're like, no, there's gonna be like regular people there. I'm like, regular people? What do you mean by regular people?
People from all races and ethnicities. Yes.
And I'm like, so you're telling me that your white ass like Captain Michael John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is going to be chowing down on my enchiladas?
That sounds wrong, but yes.
And see, like, that's what makes me so mad. I don't know. Okay, so here's my thing, is that I don't like it when white people get to have the excuse of, it's kind of like our version of, you know how when white people sort of like take this like inward pride of like within a black community, like being invited to the barbecue or whatever. That's how I feel about our food whenever it's passed on to white people. Like, you've already heard this spiel, right? So what's your whole thing on it? Because I feel like it's an atrocity. It's a travesty. It's a, like, basically what you're doing is that you're giving them a plate of, here is your pass. Now you get to use the word way in, like, between every other sentence every time you talk to me, white friend.
No.
That's what it feels like to me.
I'm not allowing that. Now, there are Hispanics out there that probably do that. Yeah, and I hate it. For me, it's very simple. Very simple, but let me finish. What the hell would I be doing? What kind of Mexican, what kind of Latino would I be?
You give them the Taco Bell shit.
No.
And you give the Latinos.
No. I will never do that to myself. To give people like the imitation crap.
Yeah.
And then to like tell them that, hey, this is Mexican food. No.
No, I mean, you
that's
be
a disservice to myself.
No,
like, no.
You be straight up with them. Like, you don't have to claim that shit.
I am not about to do that. No, it's not about what they get. I'm showing them what it is. Like, this is the real deal stuff. Because people need to know. People still in 2022 have a certain perception about Mexican food, and I don't like that.
What kind of perception of Mexican food are they having?
Of like what they're eating is considered Mexican food. Like,
you mean like that fake ass Tex-Mex stuff? Don't get me wrong. There's some good
there's some good ones, but some of them will
go out of their way.
Go to the grave.
Saying, oh man, I love
good Mexican food. Yeah.
Those chile rellenos.
Yeah.
Pasados.
And all they had was like.
And on the border.
And all they ever had was on the border and Papacitos, which is good. Don't get me wrong.
Papacitos is fantastic Tex-Mex.
Yeah, but like, that's the thing. Like, there's so many variations of Mexican food. Like, don't have like this very close-minded. And that's me. That's the point. That's the what I'm trying to get at. Is like, for me, it's just exposing them to like, hey, this is real Hispanic food, this is real Mexican, this is real Salvadorian, Puerto Rican food, all this stuff. Because I think there was going to be a Puerto Rican dish, if I remember, coming tomorrow, possibly. This is all the flavor you get when it comes to being Latino, Latina, Latine, you know, whatever.
You know what I can't stand? I cannot stand white people who like try to like enter in the club by like talking about how much they love spicy food. You ever get people like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, man. You know, I love my food extra, extra hot, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about? Bonita.
Bonita. I do get called Bonita a lot.
I'm telling you, though. Like, it's such a real thing. And it's like, am I gatekeeping the culture? Am I gatekeeping the food?
You are.
Or am I just protecting what's ours and trying to keep the riffraff out?
What riffraff?
White people are riffraff.
Let people experience the good food, the food that's good. And
you know what? They can experience it themselves if they go out of their way to find it themselves. If they go out of the way to hunt it down themselves.
Agree.
I'm not literally going to hand my culture on a silver platter to like Angela, Mike, Shauna from accounting.
Let Angela, Mike, Shauna enjoy some pupusas.
No, absolutely the fuck not. Not on my grave, bruh. And this is why I'm not heading any like Latin heritage. See, Heritage Month.
She says it's all just folk, but she wants me to bring her back some food. Which, with this attitude, I'm not bringing back anything.
Hello, what is the color of my skin? I am melanin blessed.
Nah, I'm not bringing anything back to her.
Shit. You know? You better bring me some.
She's gonna starve.
Sure. I'm not gonna start with the salsa. The salsa's really good though, for real.
All right, and that is it when it comes to the topics for today. Moving on, Vero. GLO, glow. You want to kick it off, or do you want me to do it? You don't.
You need to do it.
All right.
Okay.
So for my, and you know, and I guess we're still keeping it in the realm of being spooky.
Oh,
you know,
man, I think I know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, the show that I finally I was gonna talk about it last week, but I instead hadn't finished it, and I was waiting to finish it, and I have. Mm-hmm. So for this week, it's still very relative. I'm still seeing some articles come out today about it.
Me too.
Is the I guess some people will call it a hit.
You should be like playing the spooky music.
No, because I don't want to be. It kind of feels distasteful.
Okay.
Especially for like the subject,
I mean, but it is like a TV show, so that's like the ultimate thing of distaste.
I mean,
okay, all right.
I was gonna mention that. So, so the hit TV show, quote unquote, on Netflix, Dahmer. Based on the life of Jeffrey Dahmer, and if you know anything about Dahmer, he was a serial killer. He mainly targeted young black Latino gay men up in the Milwaukee, Madison area of Wisconsin, and he's been a known figure for many years. But this is kind of like the big high budget high promotion when it comes to Dahmer, being played by Peter Evans. And I think as far as the performance go, I think he did a fairly good to decent job at it. People are very mixed about the show. Most critics don't really like it. Audience are a little bit more favorable toward it.
But this is your good looking out, right?
Yeah. Just because I think there still is a lot to be said about how do you depict something so gruesome in a manner where it's entertaining, which, it's not the first time it's ever been done. We've had things like Silence of the Lamb. We had the Ted Bundy one with Zac Efron, which really didn't get that big of a reaction like this one is getting. Like the Zac Efron Ted Bundy one was kind of pan, and people just kind of came and went. People thought it was like trending maybe for a day or so, but this one is kind of gone. Like it's having a good run as far as like people talking about it, Oh
yeah, it's gone viral-ish.
Yeah, and
viral light.
Yeah, the person who produced it, Lord forgive me, I can't remember his name, but he made the show Pose as well, and all his projects have Pose, and all the shows has always involves gay characters, right? Because he himself is gay, and that was kind of like an early controversy with the release of Dahmer that Netflix for some reason. One of his descriptors was like LGBTQ, and people were like enraged because like how can you?
Who, the producer?
No, like how Netflix will have descriptors about their shows. They'll be like Latina, thriller.
Oh, it had like an LGBTQ banner.
This is for gay people.
This is so fucking weird. That's like trauma. That's so weird.
And that like quickly got removed once like Netflix realized like, oh crap. Now, I think I can see
I'm done for that.
I think what they were trying to do is say that, hey, there are gay people in the show outside of Jeffrey who are, that should be celebrated, like the victims. But you see Dahmer's face, you see that title, and you can only think to relate it to him,
Yeah.
So the show...
Yeah, that's lame.
So the show kind of jumps around. I don't really want to spoil a lot, but doesn't really cover every single victim. I think in total there were 15, if I remember, 15, 16. It doesn't really cover every single of them. It covers a good amount. Goes back to his childhood, talks about his time growing up and, how dysfunctional he was with his family, going to prison eventually. Well, even before prison, kind of like his running with the laws and just how he would get away with certain things. A lot of times, having to do because of like his privilege that he just has as being a white man and being in these neighborhoods where normally you wouldn't find somebody like him, and he kind of like took that to his advantage. Like I said, all this other
find somebody like him, like what he like resided mostly in Latino and black neighborhoods.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and he never directly stated that. Like he actually denied it. Like when he was being interviewed in prison, when they were asking him like, you were like purposely targeting these people, right, in these neighborhoods. Like, why were you there? And he would always say something like, no, it wasn't that. I just found them beautiful, I found their
anyway, please don't go into like...
Yeah. So, I'm not going to go into the gruesome details, but that's where the indirect racism for me begins. Because it's like, it's not heinous. It's not when I say heinous, I'm referring to the racism. It's not like this heinous, this very mean, derogatory form of racism. It's like this form of racism that's indirect because it's viewing Black and Hispanic gay men as an object, right? It's just something to fetishize over.
It's fetishizing to
Yeah.
the point. It's the most deadly.
Yeah,
I'm so uncomfortable right now. Like, I'm not okay with any
Yeah.
of this. Like, I stay away from this bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, and I mean, I haven't even said anything, but Vero gets the heebie-jeebies
I do.
about
I
anything.
get the heebie-jeebies like nobody
Yeah.
else. Like, it takes nothing.
Yeah, and I haven't even said anything gruesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And and I think that's where the greatest sense of like, yeah, this man was twisted, not just like with his action, of course, which is blatant, but just the way he would target people and just what he would do within the show and how he carried out his attacks and all that. But I do want to point out like some positives when it comes to the way they did portray some of his victims. I think they did that very well for the most part, and I think even the people who managed to escape, because there were people who were captured by Dahmer, who were drugged by him, and that they actually managed to escape, who also played a really good role in some episodes. So for that, those particular characters.
What do you mean a good role?
Oh, like a good character.
But they were based off of a real person. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean the actors and all that.
Oh.
Yeah. The way they were portrayed in the show.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I think it did. I think they pulled off a good performance, and maybe there's stuff that was embellished, of course, but I have to look more into that as far as like what was true, what was not.
So what was like the wildest take that you've seen in regards to like people talking about the show since you've seen it?
Take like how?
I don't know. Like you're the internet person.
I mean, I think the wildest take, of course, you always have is the girls who are obsessed with serial killers.
Yeah, the men at this point, really. You know what? Like I think I was on Facebook for a hot second, I think, and I mean, I don't know necessarily if this is a take. This is just a really lame ass TikTok or whatever the fuck. I think it was like a guy that I just happened to be mutually like a Facebook friends for like some obscure reason, right? We all have those, and he was posting about like the Dahmer documentary, but he by like reposting a certain TikTok, right? And in the TikTok, it was this guy who was obviously trying to like watch a TV show. You assume that it's the Dahmer doc, and he's looking like visibly uncomfortable, right? And he's like shaking his face, like, "Oh no, no!" And like the caption itself said, "Me trying to watch the Dahmer doc, but forgetting me trying to get through the Dahmer doc, but forgetting how in its like rainbow emoji it is," right? And I'm just like, really, like machismo and homophobia seep in that deep that you can't even enjoy your true crime shit. And this is me saying that. I fucking hating true crime. Like I hate true crime. Well, really? Like it was just. I don't know.
You never heard of the TCC?
No, what is that?
The true crime community. That's what the predominantly female community has dubbed themselves, the ones who love like serial killers and stuff like that.
What? It's so sick. I will never understand y'all. Yes, I'm judging you. Like I don't understand y'all. Like oh my gosh.
There is an episode where he's in prison where they touch on like people writing him in jail and sending him money who are fans of Dahmer. There's an episode that's like kind of dedicated to that, about how he risen to like infamy, where people were making comic books about him and sending him fan mail and telling him like, hey, can you give me an autograph? Can you they'll send him something. Can you sign this and send it back to me?
Why are people fat? You know what? We are going to like go into like a whole different kind of rabbit hole about like why people love this kind of stuff.
That's some psychology level stuff. Yeah, we're not about to get into.
I don't know.
I think one of the biggest reactions, of course, that I saw was.
I say that, but you follow like YouTubers that break down like true crime and shit for you, so you're just as guilty as anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just learning about a case.
Yeah.
I'm not obsessing with a killer.
I don't know, man. I don't know. People be weird, man.
I was gonna say, I think one of the biggest reactions, of course, has been from the people who were actually there. People who were like in the environment when that was happening, and actual like people who were close to the victims. A lot of them are still alive, and a lot of them just saw like a slap in the face. That the fact that this show was being made, and they saw it as very disrespectful to the people who were involved in all this stuff.
I mean, I will say, like, I didn't really watch the show, but I do remember, like, the last couple of minutes of it, like, it being about, like, his neighbor who was played by that one really well-known actress. I forget what her name is. Yeah, but no, she. I think her name is. It starts with an SH or it has an N on it. Anyway, yeah, and her basically trying to get a park made and the victims' memories and stuff, and like. I mean, they were basically straight up with it, and they said that the park never got made, but they did do the traditional fade to black thing, and the last thing that you saw, Nisi, okay, and the last thing that you saw were the faces of the victims before it faded to black again. So I mean, that was one thing, but you already know that I am never gonna be the type of person to watch this stuff. I mean, I understand. I will say that, like, in cases like Dahmer, it's interesting because there's so much to unpack there from, like, a psychological aspect and from, like, a gay and homophobia aspect. And you think about, like, all of the horrible stereotypes that, like, gay people and people from the LGBTQ community are, like, pegged onto because of, like, situations like this, you know?
Yeah, and it really kind of, like, I don't know, I don't want to say reinforces, but does put that negative image in somebody who may be homophobic to be like, like, this is why we can't trust them because they'll do this to our children and stuff like that.
Some total bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah. The excuses some people will make to hate.
So how many Mexicano stars does this get for you?
I'll say 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, there were some moments I enjoy, like I say, mainly with the victim and the other characters and just how their performance was. I thought that was really good. Peter Evans did a decent job, like I said, portraying Dahmer. Some of the script was very weak.
I thought the writing from the little bit that I saw in passing was very weak. Yeah. Like, I feel like the main Dahmer actor and, like, the lady who played his neighbor, they're really, really strong actors. Like, people already know this, but I felt like the material that they were given, it's just like this is like. Anyway, we're not gonna go into, like, script writing geeky mode, but right. It was very weak. But
yeah, that's all I got. Vero.
Yes.
What you got?
I have nothing.
You don't?
No, I don't. I forget every week that we're supposed to do this.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, no, this is like this is the first time in, like, 2 years that I don't have a good looking out.
Hey, sometimes you don't have anything to watch. Sometimes you forget. It happens. No fault of your own.
I mean, but it is. But
we're gonna act like it's no fault of your own.
Okay. All right. And my good looking out is for this tamal sauce, the green one. Like, if you guys ever hit up Esperanza's in Fort Worth, get the green sauce because it's better than the other two. So there's that. There's my good looking out. It gets 5 out of 5 Veronica stars.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you on this episode. Appreciate everybody listening. Check us out on the YouTubes, on the social, and Learning Spanglish everywhere. Mexican _ Natsu, Vero Fuerte _ check out the Facebook. Just you can find it. We're pretty easy to find, all right? And until then, we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate y'all.